This guy coming up, you cannot be aggressive, not know even 5% of the facts you need, and then be humble and admit where you don't have the information. Because you're literally making yourself the biggest dunk in the world, bro. This guy made himself the biggest, easiest dunk in human existence for no reason. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Also, consider supporting my channel in the description down below. Thank you. Charlie Kirk, another day of Charlie Kirk reactions, all right? Know-it-all has major attitude as Charlie wrecks his argument.
That's a Dennis Rodman shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, it's tough, huh? I've been trying to talk to you for years, man. It's crazy. You know Destiny, right?
By the way, I don't pre-watch these. Oh, God, you know Destiny. Oh, no. He's going to bring up some Destiny tactics. Oh, no, I was not expecting this.
You have to, right?
Know of him, yeah.
Oh, bro, debate him, please. But I'm the second best thing. Okay. So I think I'm going to start. That pulling out of Ukraine, do you think it ruined America's reputation around...
These white Destiny fans are really going out here in public trying to debate Charlie Kirk on Destiny's behalf. It's really crazy.
The world.
I mean, Destiny's fans are only white, by the way. Only white.
So I want to hear your opinion on it, then we can chat about it.
As you can see.
Pulling out of Ukraine. What do you mean by that?
We basically pulled out the funding for Ukraine, America, Trump.
Pulling out of Ukraine, bad phrasing.
Yeah, but we're also brokering peace, which I think would improve America's
We're brokering peace, LOL.
We need to end this war, end the slaughter of all the people between the Russian and
we need to end it the
right
way. Ending war isn't always the best thing, in my opinion. You need to end it the right way.
And what would that mean? Millions of more people dead?
No, it would actually mean fighting off Russia with economically. We need to add more sanctions. Sanctions is number one. Sanctions will kill Russia.
You know Trump
off.
did that last week, right?
Yeah, that's great. No,
Trump threatened sanctions. Okay, he has not really addressed higher sanctions or more unique sanctions to attack Russia. I don't know why Charlie said that.
Vladimir,
Trump stop.
Is not a bad thing. I need everybody here to know that everything Trump does is not a bad thing.
No,
Trump
we agree.
Does some good things,
a lot
of bad things. So America has went
Vladimir,
down the tank economically too. I hate to switch topics.
Vladimir, stop, please. Vladimir, stop.
We're off Ukraine, or we're on
let's
economics.
We're gonna stay with Ukraine. So we promised Ukraine that we would stay in there if we took their nukes away, right? We're going to take your nukes away, and then we're going to help you. So
I mean,
do you agree that we made a promise with Ukraine to continue to defend them? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Biden did, of course, but the question is at what cost and what expense, and how much money have we spent on the Ukrainian war?
He's talking about the Budapest memorandum where we helped denuclearize Ukraine. We pressured them to get rid of their nukes, and in return, I think Russia, America, the UK, and probably some other countries reinforced it to say we will support Ukraine's sovereignty with reasonable support or whatever. So I think that's what he's talking about. I don't know why they cut to this point. Did they not include his argument on purpose? I don't know if he said anything else.
I'll answer that right after I do this. Actually, I'll answer first. How much money have we spent? A shit ton. I agree. It's so
120 billion,
300 billion,
I believe. And bro, why do they lie about easily? Oh yeah, I know why they lie about easily verifiable facts. Because they know their supporters are pushovers with no personal responsibility to do any hard work to understand things on their own. No independent thought. They're sheep, so they'll never look up to see that Charlie Kirk is completely lying.
Most of that, you know where most of that is from? Old military weaponry. We take our old military weapons since we haven't been a war for like forever.
Also, really quick, coming up with a debate about Ukraine. Especially Ukraine with Charlie Kirk, because he's a Russian asset, probably paid by the Russia oil barons. You should probably know the funding numbers or have some more exact... Because if you're going to go into what the funding actually was for, so the old weapons or the transport and facilitation of those old weapons, you should probably be ready with actual numbers.
We just have old military weaponry sitting around. We have old military weaponry sitting around. We have old military weaponry sitting around. So we ship it to Ukraine so we don't have to pay it.
First of all, that's not true. We spent down our reserves. We gave them new F-35s.
Parts of that are correct.
We gave them new ballistic missiles. We gave them new Tomahawk missiles. We gave them new Javelin missiles. The Javelin is not antiquated technology. And not to mention that our own reserves and our own capacity to fill our armaments has now been depleted because of Ukraine. Do you know we've also written...
That's not true. There's no issue with capacity in America for ammunition or anything. But also, a good point to make is probably like, okay, you talk about the Pentagon, we can never track anything. At least we know that this like defense spending or, you know, these budgets went to Ukraine. Actually, they don't believe that either. They think Ukraine sold all the guns to Mexico, to the cartels. Oh, no.
Checks to jump right there?
I'm sorry, what?
We're going to jump? Because most of the
Well,
allocated
hold on.
funds
I'm
are.
going to keep going. We also
No,
put money
you're,
straight
no,
into
I got to
their,
cut you off. I'm so
straight
sorry.
into their pension system.
I got to cut you off, man,
We
because
put
you
money
just said a bunch
straight.
of stuff, and I got to respond to it. So most of the funds that are allocated to Ukraine are old weaponry. That is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. I'm surprised you didn't know that, but you can't
Okay,
just.
again, it's just not true. So we are
Look it
funding
up.
their pension system.
Look it up.
We are funding their entire government. The entire Ukrainian government is supported by wire transfers.
European Union provided more cash funds by far than America. So he right here, the student speaker, is 100% correct on the fact that we are providing like military aid because that's all we do in America, and as America, and our valuable assets are military. But the European Union has financed far more financially for Ukraine than America has. So what Charlie just said is completely false.
Done from the
We're the
Western
only ones
world.
supporting their economy
Not to mention,
and their pensions.
the missiles that they are actually firing are not, quote, outdated. They're ones that we should actually be able to use against the cartels.
No, I agree with that because we are developing.
I don't want to
The
spend too much on this
cartels.
because...
Really?
One more thing really quick. I know people hate when I disrupt this, but remember, the intel we got from Ukraine with missile defense, with drone warfare, 21st century warfare in general, that information is priceless. We got more back in R&D and other ROI, all the different ROI, R&D, super fancy. But yeah, Ukraine has provided so much to America in forms of safety, and now the mineral deal and intelligence, and 21st century. There's so much that Ukraine has fought and died for, defending themselves, that we benefit from. But Americans think we just like signed a blank check and sent them money for no benefit of our own.
This is super important. This is the biggest political aspect ever because we're losing foreign trust. We're losing foreign trust. You don't think so?
No, again, of course not. What does peace look like in Ukraine? Tell me the exact latitude and longitude that will make you happy. And is Crimea
We are
Russia's
losing
or Ukraine's?
trust globally, of course.
I don't
is
care
Crimea
about
Russia
It
or
could be
Ukraine's?
Russia's or
That's
Ukraine's.
the most important part of the entire
No, it's
war,
not.
man.
This
That's
is my
literally the
this
last
is my,
point of negotiation.
You want my opinion? This is my opinion. I totally agree. Way too many deaths have happened in Ukraine. I understand the other perspective that that millions of people died in Ukraine, and we want that to stop any way possible. But this way that we're doing it is not correct. If we're allowing Russia to just take the land and just take the land and have no repercussions, what's stopping them from doing it again? Nothing. Nothing's stopping them from doing it again. We need precautions. They already broke 3 agreements so far. Please tell me what's going to stop Russia from just doing it again.
Also bring up like a good political point here is bring up how Russia has put bounties on American troops and has funded terrorist groups to go after Americans, and they still do. So bring that up. Bring up the cyber hacking. That's not as politically pertinent or as, I guess you could say, optically friendly for the imagination. But yeah, bring up that about Russia. I feel like so many American conservatives forget Russia's bad.
What's going to stop them?
Again, so first of all, you come from the wrong premise.
Get a load of this.
You come from the incorrect premise, as if that we are not currently being tough on Russia, and that we're not currently being tough on them.
Bro, we're slopping on them right now. What are
And
you talking about? Trump is
we have
slopping on that
sanctions,
shit, bro.
we have
Oh, I'm
tariffs.
sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but again, I just want to be very perfectly clear, which is we've spent $250 to $300 billion here. You say you don't care about Crimea, and so if you don't,
Where do they get these freaking numbers from, bro? Oh my goodness, we can't even have the normal conversation. Every conversation with a MAGA person is like you talk for 2 hours about the facts and you never actually get to the point. Because once you get to the actual point, they say, well, both parties are bad and nothing matters anyway.
You're
about
going to harp on that point?
yeah, it's okay. Do you care about the Donbass?
Yeah, I care about.
Okay, so what
I
part
care
of the,
about it,
so
but that's
name-
not my argument.
Do you care about Mariupol? Do you think Mariupol is Russia or Ukraine's?
Not informed on Mariupol.
Okay, then this is not even a discussion worth
It's
having.
not a
then.
discussion
No,
because I
if you
can't
don't-
be
it's-
informed on one thing.
Okay, how about the Donetsk region?
Not informed.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk here is naming different regions and trying to find, he's trying to be like, oh, look at all these regions I understand, and well, actually I don't need to understand them. I can just say these regions, and if you don't know the exact specifications of every single region, every part of the conflict here, then you're going to be wrong because look, you don't have any actual knowledge, buddy. I would argue if you're going to come to a debate stage like this with Charlie Kirk, who you know is a paid asset from someone. Charlie Kirk has all the propaganda tools here. You probably should know some of the different regions, and at least if you don't have some like basic principle you're going to go back to. So such as, the entire international community recognizes Crimea as Ukraine, and we cannot let Russia just simply go and take all these different areas without repercussion, because if they do that, then Russia will be able to, they'll learn that they won off of their invasion. They were able to win. And Trump right now is trying to force Ukraine to give Russia pretty much every single territorial concession, everything Russia wants, every bit of land Russia has taken. Actually, I'm pretty sure Trump has pressured Ukraine to give up land that Russia currently does not occupy, that Ukraine has pushed back the line since Russia was able to make their like deepest advance. But it's like, I don't know, dude. It's so, Charlie Kirk's a special cookie.
Okay, again, this is like very basic Ukrainian.
Inform me then.
No, again, I'm not going to spend time educating on stuff that you can find at ChatGPT. Here's the point, okay? Here's the critical point, okay? Which is that this is now a question over geography. And so I'm not going to dialogue with you.
It's a question over geography, dude.
You don't even know the main towns that are in question.
Do you think all the U.S., you're just talking about old territories owned by the USSR?
Oh, at least, okay, pivot back into the ethnic Russian claim and bring up, like, the ethnic Russian claim is so similar to the Czechoslovakia Hitler ethnic German claim and Poland ethnic German claim that Hitler used, and the appeasement there. And that appeasement during before World War II or during World War II, the whole process of getting to the peak of the conflict was appeasement until everyone realized, oh crap, we cannot appease Nazi Germany. We cannot appease these countries because they're going to keep on pushing. The same lessons, we're forgetting those with like Russia. And we have benefited from the world order being what it is with NATO and a pretty stable globe. I know we have wars still, but shocking to everyone, we're not going to have utopia. I'm sorry, we have no utopia, but the world is a lot safer today because of things like NATO. But it's a hard conversation to have. He still has 10 minutes. I guess that's enough time to do this a little bit. I don't know.
That's just what we're talking about.
No, that's currently Russian-controlled land because of the war. The question is, should they keep it or not? That is what's being negotiated.
Yeah, but I'm arguing if they're invading more. I'm not arguing for keeping any land. I'm arguing for if they should continue to invade more land and what's keeping them from invading more land, which you won't answer.
Yeah, okay, again, the minerals deal, part of it is a security agreement. Number two, we should actually have a...
There is no explicit security agreement with Ukraine. It's like de facto. So like America has interest there. We're going to want to defend it. But there's no deal that says, hey, if you're invaded by Russia, we guarantee defense. Nothing in the deal says that. In fact, Zelensky wanted the deal to say that. That was one of the big issues, points of contention, was that the deal did not explicitly say we're going to defend you.
A warmer relationship with Russia, which would prevent Russian expansion
because
throughout
they're
Ukraine?
Pussies, yes.
Well, okay, again, it's easy for you to say that. Do you think it was wrong for us to work with Russia to defeat the Nazis?
No, because Russia isn't as... Bro, Russia... We can... Whoa. Please don't think I'm stumbling. First of all, Germany is 1,000 times worse than Russia is right now. Like, I'm actually coming from a normal perspective on this. Like you're saying, it's reasonable to say that we're losing too many Ukrainians. Like, I understand that. That's why letting them have some land is almost understandable to me. But what's not understandable is that we have nothing to prevent them from taking more. I feel like you would agree with this. We need stronger, reasonable, like, lining to make sure they don't just break another deal. You know how many deals they broke already?
And
3.
We broke a lot of deals. You know, we broke a lot of...
See, bro, I literally brought that up earlier. You can talk about different pieces of information, but even if you agree on facts of something, they're just going to say, oh, we do bad things too. I mean, we did bad things before. How can we judge anything? How can we know the nuance of literally anything? This is why Charlie Kirk is so gross and disgusting and a really terrible human being that's being funded by dark money groups to make us fight each other so the ultra wealthy can take over society.
A lot of deals too. We said NATO would not expand eastward.
Not true at all. That's debunked by the actual people in the room, Gorbachev, and also that was about the reunification of Germany. That was not about NATO into Eastern Europe. Russia and NATO had this conversation in the late 90s where Russia said, okay, you can expand NATO, but you cannot put nuclear weapons in these new NATO countries if you expand to the eastern part of Eastern Europe. Because when the Soviet Union broke apart, we had the votes by these different countries to split off from Russia. It was a conversation about expanding NATO, and Russia agreed, like, okay, you're going to expand NATO, just don't put nukes on our border. So that's a lie.
We said we would not involve our... No, we broke that deal. That was America.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
my point. We're fucking sucking right now.
No. Dude, you understand NATO expansion happened before Trump? Like, you
Aw,
gotta
he
calm
should
down,
know
man.
this,
Like,
brother.
No, this is too serious to be calm, man.
NATO expansion.
George W.
NATO, there's 6 NATO countries on Russia's border. I believe 5 NATO countries on Russia's main borders, and then Poland with that one independent Russian zone. I forget what it's called.
Bush broke the NATO agreement. Biden broke the NATO. So, for example, we said
You
that
think
NATO
I
would.
condone that? No.
Okay, Biden broke the agreement we had with Russia that NATO would not expand eastward. Finland joined NATO under Joe Biden. So,
I'm
again,
not a Biden stan. I'm
Finland joining NATO. Oh, why did Russia not invade Finland? You know, there's so many good responses here. This guy does not watch Destiny, okay? Because he would have better responses. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm talking about America.
Okay, that's
No, wait. What are you trying to say then? Tell me.
I'm disproving all of your points, and you're not
How
even
so?
internalizing
All right,
it. Okay.
tell me one more time. I'm super listening.
Okay, again, man, like you're a perfect example.
Are you gonna
and I'm gonna say this
are
as
Of a low IQ thug. That's what Charlie Kirk's gonna say.
Good.
lovingly
Inform
as I
me-
can.
Inform me.
You're a perfect example of someone who thinks you know everything about a topic, and you know literally nothing about a
I literally
topic.
said I didn't know 3 things.
So-
Okay, so in this conversation here, the guys in the back, all these people back here are literally animals, like primitive beings. All right, they're like cave people. They see fire and they start clapping and yelling because they don't really understand it, but they know it's like fire. It's bright, it's fun. Okay, they see a firework or a plane in the sky. They're like, "There's a plane up there. It must be spraying down chemicals on us." Okay, they think that like vaccines are gonna blow us up and turn you into zombies. Like these people will clap for literally anything. Charlie Kirk in this position, very media trained. He knows he is lying. He knows he's gonna be lying. He does this all the time. This guy coming up, you cannot be aggressive, not know even 5% of the facts you need, and then be humble and admit where you don't have the information. Because you're literally making yourself the biggest dunk in the world, bro. This guy made himself the biggest, easiest dunk in human existence for no reason. All right? Don't talk about a topic like Ukraine, which people already don't know about, if you don't have enough information to inform them. Because if you don't have that information, you're probably going to lose that conversation against someone who even knows just like random geographical locations. Even a basic basis of international law, or just like an understanding of like why it's important to defend Ukraine would help you here. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Charlie Kirk knows he's lying. He can use that as a superpower. It's a cheat code. Every single one of us is media. For us to overcome what's happening right now, we all need to push in the right direction. Whether you make your own content, if you share my content or another creator you like, thank you so much for supporting this. We all need to do our job, and I really appreciate what you have to give, whether it's financial or not. If you cannot afford to donate, do not donate. Share the video around, drop a like, comment, subscribe. You are helping more than you could ever imagine.